say you believe in the Bible. Do you go to church?
No, I don't.
You don't? Why you don't go to church? I want to pick your brain.
Okay. No. Pastors are not pastors anymore. Okay. The people in the church are not. They dressed in. Yeah.
Goodly apparel and dirty on the inside.
Right. They're not understanding that just because you see Jesus on Sunday, Jesus see you every day.
Hey, grab, you spitting the truth.
Yeah.
Let's see if a pastor ever said this.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
It says, woe.
Whoa. You know what woe means in the Bible? Woe means death and destruction. Go ahead.
Woe be unto the pastors
The pastors.
that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
You ever heard that, church? You ever heard that, church? Have you ever heard that, church? Wow. So it says pastors destroy the sheep of the pasture. So a lot of people, by leaving the church, they leave the scriptures altogether. They esteem the Christian doctrine as the Bible, but the Christian doctrine has nothing to do with the scripture, the truth of the Bible. So people leave the scriptures altogether when they call, you understand that it's some bull. But a lot of people leave the scriptures altogether. And that's how they are scattering the sheep. And they end up in Islam. They end up calling on the ancestors, so on and so forth. They end up in every wind of doctrine but the scripture. That's how they scatter the sheep. But what we're out here doing is teaching that, do you know your nationality according to the Bible? According to the Bible.
I've heard that we're Moors. I heard that we're natives of this land.
So, okay, the deal with Moors is we're those people, but Moor, that's just another byword, that's another term that was put on us. Moor just means black. So what they need to do is go further, even though they were those people, that's not where we originate as a Moor. We originate as Israelites.
That's right.
The so-called black natives and Hispanics are the Israelites according to the Bible. And we can prove it. Scriptures, prophecy, archaeology, so on and so forth. 17:1.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37.
Bring it out.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
All right, so this is saying we will be a proverb and a byword. A proverb is a wise saying. Black people, all black people eat water. Black people don't like water. They can't swim. A byword is, nigger. African American is a byword, but we're not African American. That's the name of two white men. American Vespucci, that's America. And Afrikaners. So that's two white men, and we call ourselves the names of two white men. That's a byword. Or is another byword. It just means black.
That's right.
Oh yeah, 17:4.
This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
It says, and thou, even thyself,
Shall
discontinue from thine
heritage
heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
So by process of elimination, can we apply that to laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
Which the Christian church says are done away with.
I got you.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
O children of Israel.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities.
So he says he only known Israel. You can look at the relationship as a father and a child. We went off. We disobeyed the Most High, so he punishes us. Israel is the ones that he's known. We're his children. So if you see a group of people, a group of children, and they're doing, causing chaos, if you see that, you're not going to get on the other children, you're going to get on your children. So that's why we're punished. We get immediate punishment. All the other nations can do whatever they want to do, and they don't have an immediate punishment. That's why we're in this lower state that we're in. Why are we, it says, the salt of the earth. What group of people gives the earth flavor? Okay. Get that, what's where he says, get that part, salt of the earth. 5:13, I think. So, if we are the best in everything, if we're a nation that is the best in everything, we give the earth flavor. Why are we in this lower state that we're in? Why? But the Christian church does not bring it out. That's why we out here in the cold to bring it to you. We feed the sheep.
That's right.
Go ahead. You got it?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
So we are the salt of the earth. We give the earth flavor, but we are trodden underfoot. Like you heard, sir, everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. They want every positive thing. Hell, they even want to be under the curses. They want every negative thing they want to be. They want to sell drugs when that's something that was a snare that was given to us. A snare, to put our people, to destroy our people and ourselves. They want to sell drugs. That's something that was used for survival. They want to be gang members. Even the negative aspects, they want to do that too.
Negative aspects of a woman too. They trade out too. Homosexual.
And let's get that. Let's get Isaiah 3 and 12. Isaiah 3 and 12. And let's get Deuteronomy 28:15. Let's start.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk to you all day if you got time. I said 1 minute, but all right, go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths.
So what can we apply that to? It says, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. That's going into single-parent household. We got generations and generations of single-parent household, and it's just a perpetual curse, and it progresses. That's what we see out here, because there's no man in the house, and that's systemic. You heard of the Willie Lynch letter?
I heard of it. I haven't read it. I haven't took the time out to read it yet.
Read it, because you can go into the Willie Lynch letter and go line for line in this book, and it applies. How they set up, it's systemic. How they set it up, and it applies today.
Hating our brother and the curses. Willie Lynch said, I'm the light skinned versus the dark skinned.
I mean, it's so much. Right. Yeah. So that was part of it. They made the woman independent, and they caused the man to get out the house. And they caused the woman to be dependent on them. So you got Section 8. The woman is dependent on them. And, even Section 8, the man has to be out of the house. If a man is present, she won't be eligible for those benefits. So she says, okay, to hell with that. I'm going to choose these benefits over the man in the house, the structure of the household. So go ahead.
So I want to bring it back to what he originally talked about the preachers too. I want to bring this out. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 9. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy unto us right things. Prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. So what he's telling you is something that the church won't say. They're going to only say smooth words because they only want one thing from you, which is your money. That's all they want. So they're going to pick the nice things out of the Bible to preach to the people. They're not going to tell the people what they really want, they need to hear. They're not going to heal the people, right? Because the Bible talks about secret rebuke is better than secret love. And Christ said himself, meaning as I love, I rebuke. So this is going to
So here's an example. What do we always hear in the church? Like people, we hear we're all equal under Christ. That's what we hear in the church. Would you say we're equal? What would you say we're under? Okay, I can see where you're going with that. Like as far as society, we're at the bottom of society, but you as a person.
Chapter 7 and verse 6. No, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above what? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So that's the Most High telling you you're above all people that are on the face of the earth.
The salt of the earth.
That's the salt of the earth. And that's not smooth. You can't have a congregation of these different nations and say that wouldn't be smooth. So this doesn't apply to every single body. Start from 28:15. Okay, fine. So it's gonna show us why we are in this low state. Are you familiar with Deuteronomy 28?
I heard of Deuteronomy, but not 28.
Okay. So it's a list of curses in Deuteronomy that applies to a specific group of people. So let's start with 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So jump to 46.
Verse 46 says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So it says these curses will be upon you and your seed forever. So a sign. We always use the analogy a sign. You know that's Lucky Sam because it's a sign. So these curses will apply to a group of people, and we'll be able to identify those people. And this was referring to the Israelites.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Ezahel.
So these are the words Moses spake to Israel. They only apply to Israel. So let's get a few. Y'all can get whatever y'all want.
Deuteronomy 7:6, where he said, above all people, he was talking to the Israelites.
Y'all
Right.
take whatever curse y'all want.
God.
Because this is the
64.
English Standard Version. It says, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9, it says, but you are a chosen race. So the Bible refers to the nation of Israel as one people, and it's always spoken about Israel being a nation or a race of people from the beginning of the book to the end of the book.
That's
So
right.
he's talking to one group of people all the way throughout the book. One group of people. But there's actions of different nations in there too. You know what I'm saying? Because we are around different nations, but he's only speaking to the Israelites.
Hey, can you look up there, Acts 13:1 way?
I got that right here. Right here. This is the book of Acts, chapter 13, and verse 1.
Bring it out.
This is in the NLT. Among the prophets and teachers of the church of Antioch of Syria were Barnabas, Simeon, called the black man.
Called what?
The black man.
Get it in.
Right.
Let's examine this.
This is Acts chapter 13 and verse 1 in the KJV.
Bring it out.
It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, called nigger.
Called what?
Oh, nigger.
So that's what they called the apostles.
That's a byword. Black. Nigger means black. Right. You look at the etymology, it's a Latin word. It means black. Even Christians, it's like same place. So, Moor is black. Nigger is black. That's a byword. That's it said. That's what would be applied to Israelites, and we can apply that to ourselves today. You have a question? Not what we're told by men. We're going back to the source and actually breaking down what's real. Where was it? Matter of fact, can you name something that's prominent in our community? Any random thing that we see.
Chapter 28, verse 16.
Bring it out.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Go ahead.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Thy basket and thy store. The first one he read was cursed shall thou be in the city. Where's the cursed place? In any neighborhood you go to, where's the cursed place? It's where our people are. We don't have any grocery stores. That's a curse. It says, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. That means your pantry, your abundance. We don't have that.
So this is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
11. It says, thou shalt drink also water by measure. The sixth part of a hin from time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of a man in their sight. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them.
Defiled bread. Defiled bread is even the few groceries that we do have, they're bad. Like if they're past their expiration date, everything is freezer burnt.
Hey, like you know the warehouse market in Turley?
Absolutely.
You walk in there and there's racks, dead racks on the ground. Like they cleaning it up.
I do not shop there. I do not shop there because I look at it like this. All the other warehouse markets, they have been dissipated or have been renamed. Why is that one still here?
That's for us. That's right. Defiled bread. These are things that we're foretold would come upon us because we turned away. And the only way to be restored is to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
Where the Christian church, Christian pastor tells you not to go. The
Right.
first 5 books, the instruction, Torah. We got to go back to it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 29.
Bring it out.
And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. The reason why I wanted to show you this curse is because it tells you that no matter what we do, if we're breaking God's commandments, we're not going to be able to prosper in our ways. We're going to keep being spoiled. We're going to always be oppressed. And we've seen a beautiful example in Tulsa with Black Wall Street. As soon as we started prospering as a people again, as Israelites, it got shut down. The Most High wouldn't allow it because we wasn't putting Him first. We weren't keeping His commandments. I mean, it's very respectable and easy to understand it because that's how he deals with me as his son. You're not gonna listen, well, you're not getting none of that. Don't even worry about that. And the Most High God always deal with us like that. If we don't listen, we're not getting none of the good stuff, right? You don't want to serve me, I'm gonna make you serve your enemies now. You know, we see that time and time again all throughout the Bible, and it all starts and ends with obeying God. You know.
So that would be us trying to climb up another way. The only way is coming back.
That's right.
It don't matter like what type of structure, you know, everybody got an idea, pitching an idea, we need to do this for the community. You know, we got this lined up for the children, so on and so forth. If it's not this, it's not going to prosper. It's not going to stay. That's what we call sandy ground. If this is not the foundation, then it's going to fall. Okay, so what's another one?
Chapter 28 and verse 28.
Bring it out.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Madness and blindness. That's another curse that was put on. Not only just alcohol, but crack. Drugs that's put in the community by our enemies. We didn't bring it here. So alcoholism, just to begin with, that causes madness and blindness. That's why we see our people wilding out on the corner.
Hey, that's both ends of this thing. Them selling it to their people, but they be the same one that say they love their people and the people that's right.
Go ahead and bring it up.
This is the book of Psalm chapter 83. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For, lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee.
So it's going to list these nations. All the 18 nations in the scriptures, they're still here today. And it says they are the enemies of the Israelites. And they are confederate with one another to keep Israel from being a nation. So we see like, I ain't been in this store, but I'm sure it may be, you might got pipes and scales. I know when I was growing up, you see all that. I could buy anything I want in these stores.
Yeah.
You got they supply everything that you need to destroy yourself and your community. It's illegal for you to have it, but it's not illegal for them to sell it to you. What's up with that? That's Confederate. Hey, if you look at any hood, you got the Arabs in the hood stores. You got the Chinese people selling you rats and kids in your hood. You got the nail and hair salons, and they come from overseas to gain off of you. Like you've lived here your whole life, for generations, but you can't set up shop, can do anything. You don't have anything. But they can come from overseas and set up shop immediately and put their children through college off of our bills.
Hey, they literally got websites, loans, and all of that in there. It's like, but if I take it in, as soon as I get pulled over, just if I buy it, I get pulled over, I'm going to jail for paraphernalia just by even having that. But that's a setup, like the brother said.
And add the residue. The residue that they got residue on, yeah. But like I said, you got a fed case. Get Isaiah 42:22.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
Snared in holes.
They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey and none deliverance, for a spoil and none saying restore.
So we can look at who predominantly populates the prison. And those are, it says they are given snares. The example we just gave, that's a snare. You can go get whatever you need, like a scale, you get residue on it, you got a case. They're in prison house. 13th Amendment, you're a slave again. It's all a system. What else? There was something. Go ahead.
So, in the United Nations, right, at the front part of the United Nations, they have a statue of slave ship with a black kid and a black person in a slave ship. So he's talking about how they all come together to make a confederate against us. There's nobody in the United Nations they have a whole memorial or a statue. I forgot what it's called. You know what it's called? It's I can't remember. It's a slave ship. They take a confederate against us.
And it also says, what we just read, it says, they are for a spoil and none said restore. No one is going to try. This is applied to Israel, but the people who are supposed to be Israel today that are in the land, everyone is coming to their aid. They get how much annually? Billions annually.
Billions every year from America to make sure that we don't know who we are.
So it says, none said restore. Nobody is saying restore us. So as we continue to go through this book, we can just, it's overwhelming proof that this applies to us. Go to, go to get to it.
So we just looked it up. It's like, we just looked up that statue. It's called the Ark of Return.
That's crazy, ain't it? They calling it an ark.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 16.
Bring it out.
Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion
It said the daughters of Zion.
are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and one-time
eyes,
walking and mixing
making
as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
All right, so it says, daughters of Zion are haughty.
Anything words?
And they walk with stretched forth necks. This going into this changeable suits of apparel. Who does this sound like? And it says, I will discover their secret parts. So when he says he's going to do something, it doesn't necessarily mean he has different ways he'll make things come to pass. They're doing it themselves, like stripping, just in general, walking down the street. It says our women were so delicate that they wouldn't set the sole of their foot on the ground for delicacies. Now you see them out here strapping with barefoot, getting their blouse pulled off. That's discovering the secret parts, and they're in the lowest state. You got the words?
I got hunting. first word was haughty. The daughters of Zion are haughty. It says arrogantly, superior, and disdainful. And the similarities was snobbish, stuck up, self-importance. It says egotistical. Hey, it goes a whole bunch of different words, but I mean, you get the point. So what was the next one? One time is
Deliberate and unprovoked, and it goes to a sexual, unrestricted woman. Behave in a sexual, unrestricted way.
If we look at this generation, all we hear on the radio is this. I'm just free frank proud hoes on the radio. It's frowned upon if you don't sell your body. That's what we see, and this is most I'm describing the lowest state that our women would be in. Keep going on that.
It says, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings of the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the ribbons and the Christian pins.
You can see this walking down the street in any of our hoods. Go ahead.
The glasses, the fine linen, and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness.
So check that out. It said instead of well set hair, baldness. If we look at these Chinese people, they set up shop, and that's a curse that they capitalize on. That's one curse that they put their kids through college.
and they call it black gold. They call weave black gold. That's how much money they're making off of it.
So that's us serving our enemies by we giving them life. They came over here and they know, and that's the Confederacy too, because it's all orchestrated by so-called white man. They know it's a people over here that they can prey on. They specifically come up over here for you and set up shop in your hood. Because we don't see no Chinese restaurants in no suburbs.
And not only that, if you happen to have your own business, because they were taught stand with your own dealings in business with your own.
And do we do that?
And that's what we was taught in the Bible. It says take only heed to ourselves. It said in the law. We're supposed to be helping each other. But we are the blacks, Hispanics, Natives, everybody on that side, we are the consumers of the earth. That means we buy up everything. So that's why they not ever let us leave here. That's what the Bible said too. They won't let us leave. People have tried, like put people on boats and try to take them back to Africa. But the U.S. Navy, that's what they for. They sit in the middle of the ocean for things like that. Yeah.
So that go back to Africa, you can't even do that.
Yeah, you can't do it. They need you.
So, and this is the thing that the Christian church will tell you to stay away from. Do you see how much it benefits us? We go back to the law. Creflo Dollar made a statement on media everywhere. He said, Satan wants you to keep the law. This is the statement that he made. He said, Satan wants you to keep the law. Reading is God's laws in the Bible. See how beneficial it is if we kept it. Creflo Dollar is keeping people away. This is why the first verse say, woe to the preachers that scatter my sheep. They got hell to pay when it's going to come back when Christ returns. Because they're scattering, they're separating his people from keeping God's laws and actually having any hope to coming back together.
Right.
Because we don't stand with each other in time. All right, it says we have to go to our enemy for to our enemies to open. So you got a middleman there, so prices of stuff is going to be a little bit higher if you trying to. But we want to support each other. Somebody has something 30 cents cheaper, the other nation has something 30 cents cheaper, and you'll go to them and not support your own.
I was just thinking that they like, oh no, its price is too high. Like, bro, you gonna pay for this regardless. You know what I'm saying? Why not support your people getting the extra 30 cents?
It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Bring it up.
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourself together.
One more time.
Gather yourself together.
Yea, gather together, O
O
nation not desired.
That's instruction. The nation does not desire. Who is that? He's telling us to gather ourselves together, and we don't do that. So just think, just from that one thing, how much we will be restored just from that one. Just from that one. So this is the key to success. Get Joshua 1 and 8. This is the key to success. Yeah, not what we esteem as success according to the word.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein
Day and night.
When?
Day and night.
When?
Day and night.
that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous.
And then thou shalt have good success.
For then will we have good success when we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and they don't depart from it.
That's right.
That's the only way to success. Get but anything else you can think of, it's probably that. Anything that we do to ourselves or other nations do to us. Guarantee it's in here.
That's right.
Or your money back.
Y'all got one, y'all want to
My question is this. Why is it that
I got the he shall lend unto thee, that one too.
He got the
Okay, guys. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16.
Bring it out.
Cursed shalt thou be
In the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Curse shall thou be in the city, curse shall thou be in the field. These are perpetual curses. You can apply them from back then up until today. So the field back then was slavery. We was cursed in the field. It says, he shall not or the person of the old or the young. You have 3-year-olds out there picking cotton. That's the curse in the field. But today it's applied to the work field. With the first fired, last hired. In the work field, we get paid for these. We have to work twice as hard to get to a certain position. So it's a curse. It's a curse that's put upon us.
I got the example too. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 28:43.
Nope.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head,
And thou shalt be the tail.
Bank loans, food stamps, Section 8, so on and so forth. He's lending to you, not lending to him.
Even when you put your money in a bank, you know, like, you gotta ask permission to get it out the bank. It ain't currency. So when you go in there with cash, you like, yeah, I want to put this in there. They deleting the money. It's not in there no more. That's why you gotta ask permission, and they be like, come back 2 weeks and we'll have your $10,000 for you. Because they didn't, it's gone. They go on a digital currency, CBDC, what we had to do, which is in the Bible. When I get this right quick, finish it. So this is page 13, and they did the same thing to the Native American Indians, which is our people, which is on the sign also. But this is page 13. It says the Spanish, which is the white man, further determined that native labor
Spanish. These so-called Hispanics, their first language wasn't Spanish. It comes from Spaniards. Christopher Columbus, he was a Spaniard. So that's so-called white people. They come from Spain, Italy, over there in that area. It's white people.
Hey, and just how we call ourselves African American, same people. They put when they possess something, they put their name on it. Just like this street, Louis Mohawk. We don't know who these people are, but we know they white men. They put their this is slave street. Obviously, it's where predominantly black men were slaves. That's all it is.
All right, before you continue, I want to get this precept.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
Bring it out.
It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee
From far.
from the end of the earth, as swift
As the eagle flieth.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Just like the English came over here, we speak English. That wasn't our original language. The Spaniards came to the Hispanics. That's how they speak Spanish. Their original language, Hebrew, just like ours. And Most High gives us context clues. It says, swift as the eagle flies. You look at the flag, you look at America's representative as the eagle. You look at the Spaniards, their flag is the eagle. So Most High gives us clues.
So it says, and they did this to them this is the 1400s, and all the way to the 1800s too. It says the Spanish further determined that native labor offered the most immediate path to individual wealth. Indian natives could build the houses, tend the fields, and work in the mines, while the conquistadors gained the fortune that had drawn them to the Americas. And that's exactly what they do to the so-called blacks too, but you know, it was a little bit different with the Native Americans because they would let them keep the stuff. They would just take all their resources. Us, we had to be in that field, and we go back to these mud houses over here. But the natives, they still had their communities, and that's why when you look at the Mexicans and the natives, they somewhat had this love for each other still because they just came through and took their resources. Us, it's cutting the head off the snake. The blacks, the predominant tribe, so they had to do it a little different with us.
You look at so-called African American, that's the tribe of Judah, which would be the head tribe. That's why we see us, we are the so-called black people are the most destroyed in hell. They hate each other the most. Other nations within Israel, they still have some form of brotherhood. But we are the most destroyed in the Bible. We kill each other the most. That's why you hear black on black crime. That's the thing that you hear.
Hey, and another saying, there's a saying that goes around. They say you can put a household of Mexicans in a teepee. They say, but you cannot put two niggas in a mansion. And they're gonna be arguing like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. You got a mansion. They never come to terms on that. That's with everything though.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54.
Bring it out.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
So there's two things there. It says his eye shall be evil toward his brother. We see that predominantly in the so-called black community. A group of white boys can go out to a bar and pass another group of white boys, and they can high five. Us, you got your pistol.
Yeah, for real.
But every time when we were out in the world, we heard it. You got your pistol. You walk past another group of the same people, and you sizing them up.
Right.
That's his eye evil toward his brother. That's right. That's in our community. It applies to us. And it also says, the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. One group of people, predominantly, their father leaves them. That's a curse. So all the answers is in this book. Why is this? Why is this happening to us? Why are we in this state? It's all in here, and it's been here the whole time. just got to come back to it and apply it.
I gotta say this, bro. It's so bad, and I'm gonna test it. It's so bad. You can't even say what's up. Like you say what's up to Jake.
What's up?
You be like, what's up? He be like, what's up? You be like, bro, I'm just saying what's up. That's it. That's how bad it's got.
But it's a curse.
I want to touch on the second part of the question. This is because he brought this out earlier, and it's just kind of going back to the same thing. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12.
Bring it out.
It says, "As for my people, children are
Their
their
oppressors, and women. Come me to
You
word.
said, you know, the black man is at the bottom. You know, it's because, you know, we started going against the Most High God. Because the Most High God always used men to put his congregation, his church in order. So because we stopped keeping the laws of the Most High God, because we stopped obeying the Father, he's going to place us in a lower state until we start to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? Then he's going to put us back on high.
Get back on that. To back that up. Jeremiah 31:22.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22.
Bring it out.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman
Shall compass a man.
A what?
A woman shall compass a man.
So when we look at that, it says compass, a woman shall shelter a man. The roles are reversed. And going back to that Willie Lynch letter, this is something that was set up years ago. And the reason you got, go ahead,
It's all right. 25 and 22.
Bring it out.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
So that's pitting, that destroys the structure. If the man is in the house, he's under the woman, and that causes her anger because he's supposed to be the one that's over the household, and that strife within the household destroying the household. And then you got children seeing this, and then that's a generation coming up. It's a generation of destruction. Go ahead.
And you, like, I know you can witness to this, like, all the benefit goes to the woman. Food stamps, the help, Section 8 housing, and the man is, they told the man that can't live there. You got around the house and play that, you know, you make her mad, you already broke. You already ain't got nothing because it's a system set up against you. So it just makes it easier. So this woman, it says that a woman maintaining this man, it says she's full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. And now we get to see it, man, in 2023 on the net, how bad it's got. They record everything, so we see how bad it is. It's horrible.
And then if you look at it, it could be a man and a woman, they both have nothing. But the government supplies the woman, he's gonna give these benefits to the woman, and that causes so he's gonna give her the power.
So we don't want to sit here and say, you know, we're not sitting here saying it's the woman's fault, but what we're saying is that they cause the woman to be independent and over the man, which makes it imbalance in the home. So what we got to do as men is to actually come out here, teach the people, and set things back in order. Tell people what God actually loves. That God actually loves rebuke, right? He loves chastisement. This is actually love. This is the love of God. This is what we're right? So this is what we out here telling the people, and we're explaining to people that it's not necessarily the woman's fault that this is how it is, but it is the woman's fault if she knows it and stays in that way. And she tries to manipulate her husband to keep him down and to rule over him. She knows that the power belongs to her husband, that the Most High God's going to honor that and bless that family. But if she chooses not to change it, then she is a woman.
Go ahead. God, this is what we call the divine order. This is the order that the Most High set up. Go ahead.
God, 1 Corinthians 11 and 3.
Nope.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
So that's the order that the Most High set up. It's the Most High, it's Christ, the man, woman, and children. If anything in that structure is out of line, it's not going to stand. So for the woman to be in order, that man has to be in order. He has to be in line with Christ. Like a woman bucking up against a man is like a man bucking up against Christ. Everything, in order for it to work how it was set up, everything has to be in line. And that's what they did. They destroyed that structure. Going back to the William Lynch letter, last day. Anything else? Can we So,
Most important.
what do we have to do to be restored?
We have to go back to the Lord.
There we go. All right, let's get some precepts. Let's see, repentance. We hear repent all the time, but do we know how to do it according to the Bible? All right, let's find out.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4.
Bring it out.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
We hear sin, but do we really know what it is? It says sin is the transgression of the law. In order to know what sin is, we have to know what the law is. Where the preacher tells us not to go. So, get the Acts first.
Let's go to Acts chapter 3, verse 19.
Bring it out.
It says, repent ye therefore
And be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the
presence of the Lord.
It says repent and be converted. Let's see what's going to make that conversion. Psalm 19:7.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. It
Bring it out.
says, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
The law converts the soul. We have to go back to the law. Get Malachi 3:6 again. Yes, sir.
So,
Bible
can I
chapter.
answer a question? Sis, he talked about sin. So according to the Bible, do you know what sin is?
So, my understanding of sin is, like if you break one of the 10 Commandments,
That's probably the best answer we got.
But look, we said the first 5 books. The first 5 books of the Bible. If we look at this, is it only 10 commandments contained in here?
no.
So we got to go in here and see what these laws are to know what we breaking. Let's get some. Whatever y'all want to do. Let's get some. We can grab that. We can get Leviticus. So do you understand we got a dietary law?
Kind of sort of. I know that we're not supposed to eat everything from the sea. Like, I think Alan, he mentioned it, or whatever. Mentioned something about like lobsters, like cockroaches.
I'm surprised he said.
I'm thinking this.
Yeah, this was in the early stage before he asked for the jet. He had mentioned about that you do not eat everything from the sea. There are certain fish creatures that you just don't eat because they can clean the sea.
Right. So let's get Leviticus 11:7.
All right, I got you. All right. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Bring it out.
And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
No swine here.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
All right, let's go to the waters.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
That's a distraction. Yeah, okay. One more time.
This is Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales, in the seas and in the rivers, all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Abomination.
So this is precept upon precept scripture, but scripture helps give understanding. So this is Ecclesiasticus 15 and 13. The Lord hated all abomination, and they that fear God love it not.
So he gives us a guideline. On the land, if it has a split hoof and it chews the good, like you see a cow always chewing, and it has a split hoof, fair game. The waters, if it has fins and scales, that's the guideline. He's not going to miss every single animal. He gives you a guideline. You know, if you see this fish, if it has fins and scales, you're good. A catfish has fins, but he doesn't have scales. That's unclean. He's a bottom feeder. They clean the waters for the clean fish that you're supposed to consume. Shellfish, they clean out the heavy metals in the water.
Oysters.
Yeah, oysters. They even showed that experiment where they put oysters in a dirty fish tank, and a few hours later the fish tank was clear because the oysters cleaned it. If you look in Louisiana, you see how they're that bay over there, how that water is dirty. They taking everything that cleans the water out and feeding it to you. So
Louisiana, they big on them dirty, unclean. They big on that.
So the Most High has certain purposes for animals. A pig, he's like a garbage disposal. He cleans the land. You got bottom feeders, they clean the bottom of the sea, clean the water. That's what they're for, not to be eaten. And that's why we have a dietary law. That's something. So if we break those laws, that is a sin.
That's right.
Transgression of the law. That's right. Let's get 1 John 5 and 3.
Oh, Malachi already got it.
They say, for this is the love of God.
This is the love of God.
That we
How do we love God? Let's see what the Bible. Okay, I can get that. Let's see specifically what the Bible says.
This is the book of John, 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For this is the love of God,
That we keep his commandments.
That we what?
That we keep his commandments.
That we what?
That we keep his commandments.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments are not grievous. It's not a hard thing or task to keep the commandments.
That's right.
You know it's for your good. So I always, we've coined a phrase here at Sons of Jacob. It's not that I gotta keep the Sabbath, because I get to keep the Sabbath. Every law that he's given us is for our good.
That's right.
He's given us the Sabbath to keep. Yeah, let's go.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
He that saith, I
Know
know
him
and
keepeth not his commandments is a
liar.
liar.
Is it what?
Is a liar.
And the
Truth is not in him.
So you hear people say, I got a personal relationship, God know my heart, so on and so forth. Matter of fact, you said Jeremiah 17. So how you know a man is a true follower of the Lord? He's keeping the commandments. And if he's not, he is a liar. It says, whoso doesn't keep the least of the commandments and teaches men to do so, he shall be least in the kingdom. So one of the least commandments would be what some would call a least commandment would be fringes. This is a commandment. All these books got fringes on these books. Fringes or seats. So let me get that.
This is the book of Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38.
Bring it out.
It say, speak unto the
Children of Israel and bid them
that they make them fringes in the border of their garments
throughout their generations.
And that they put upon the borders that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them. And that ye seek not after your own heart, and after your own eye, after which ye use the Lord.
It says throughout your generations. That means if a generation is here present on the earth, that applies to their generation. So you can find on the bottom way you dress, skirt, and this website. Plenty of places you can go get you can look it up later, but that what you got a point?
Break it out.
It says, thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four corners of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. And when you go into the word quarter, it goes back to napah. So Hebrew word go back to napah, which means every four corners. Like, that's why I got one on this side, one on this side, one on the back, one on the other side. So that's the tassel. The six. Then you have one that goes all the way around your shirt, right? Or your dress.
So it says to look upon them. It says to look upon them and remember the commandments. So you can be in situations and you got your fringes on and you're going to probably stray away from doing it. Like I'm setting an example. I can't do those things. Also, it's an indicator. You can be anywhere on the earth and you can see somebody with these fringes on. You know that's somebody that's keeping it off. You know that's your brother.
And it's gonna feel weird when you got it on. That's how I feel. Like I feel like I had a curtain on. But it's that spirit that's reminding you like you got something important to do.
But I've just me personally, I was simple with these brothers just by fringes. People were assembled to this congregation just by fringes. They felt alone. They felt like there wasn't nobody else out there keeping the commandments, but they saw somebody with fringes on. And here we are.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which
pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination to the Lord thy God.
So what is a woman's garment? Tyler Perry, even Mark. I know we all love Mark.
Big Mo's house.
Yeah, he going off too. It says that is an abomination to the Most High to put on a woman's garment. It don't matter if it's for entertainment or to be funny, so on and so forth. It's an abomination. They the poor, the Most High hateth all abomination. So, if a dress is a woman's garment, what is a man's garment? What percentage of it? You know what's going on.
Not that way.
So, that's in the first 5 books. That is an instruction. That is a law. If you break that, what is it? Sin. That's right. You know what's going on? Give her a hand for that. So that's how we correct ourselves, by going in there, seeing what we're breaking and correcting it. That's true repentance. That's right. We acknowledge what we've been doing, we correct it, and we don't go back to it. That's what repentance is. That's what we have to do to be restored. That's what we have to do to get the kingdom. That's the key to the kingdom. Get Revelation 14 and 12.
Yet they still have to do
conscious on the radio. You have to break God's laws in order to be prosperous in their system. That's part of it. It's all witchcraft and sorcery. America was founded off witchcraft and sorcery. The entertainment industry is all witchcraft and sorcery. I want to get this before we get off the point.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
Here is the patience of the saints.
Here are
they that keep the commandments of God
The commandments of God
and the faith of Yahushua.
and the faith of Jesus. Yahushua, the world's called Jesus Christ. You have to have both. You have to keep works and faith. You have to have both. You can't have one without the other. The laws of God, the Most High God, and the faith of Christ.
This is Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21.
Bring it out.
Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So we're telling people you gotta do the will of the Father. The will of the Father is found all throughout the Bible. But I'll bring out it's the book of Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
It says, I delight to do
I
thy
will,
oh
oh my God.
Yeah, thy law is within my heart. So if you're not doing the will of the Father, which is the law, you're not doing
So, come out of her. I got you. So you just mentioned the entertainment industry, Hollywood. That's all parts of, that's all the world. The Most High tells us to depart from the world. We're not supposed to be part. We're set apart from the world. Holy means set apart. We're set apart from the world. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4.
Bring it out.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So he's telling us to come out of this system and return to him. So all the entertainment industry is a part of the world. And it says that you receive not of her plagues. This place is destined for destruction. In order, if we don't want to be part of that destruction, we have to come up out of it. And it doesn't mean physically, it means spiritually. We will be protected if we keep it. But yeah, we're supposed to depart from this system and come back to the Most High. Come back to the Most High. Any other questions? Soon. But the entire earth is not going to be destroyed. It's going to be purged by fire. Everything that's here, the works of man, is going to be purged. But centrally, like primarily, the lake of fire will be here in America, which is called Babylon. America is Babylon. This is what the lake of fire is. And it was just passed by thermonuclear fire. If we just look at the world, what's going on, And they don't. The Most High didn't give it to them just for them to have it. He's going to use it.
Right.
Get Psalm 17.
Can I say something right quick? Hey, and it's getting so scary, and it's, like you said, it's coming to a head to the point where China, I know everybody's seen it, spy balloons.
Yeah.
Because China really want to know, like, what y'all doing? Because we ready to move too, if y'all ready to move, so it's like, maybe you don't know what's going on with each other. But it's going to come to a point where they're like, man, just fire first.
Right. There have been talks about that, but Congress or the government is still on the same word. They're saying that, well, if they do shoot it down, they don't know what may disperse.
They
or
already
they
shut
don't-
it
Yeah, they already shut it
they
down.
They got that thing down already.
That's why I was like,
They're like, no bueno.
that what is.
Oh, boy.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths.
You see that on Terminator? You see that scene when she holding the fence? That's what that's. Read that again.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
That's eerily similar. He leaves us clues everywhere. But that's what. And then when it says who came against Jerusalem, it's talking about the people, because we're a people before a place. That's right. So it's the people who came up against us. That's going to be the plague. But we have to come out of the world for us not to be a part of that plague. So.
All right, so this is another one. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven.
As a what?
As an oven.
I mean, just to touch on it, like, can you imagine being inside of an oven and it just getting hotter and hotter? You put it at 350. Now we're talking about the anger of the Lord. He's going to make it as hot, hotter than lava, more hotter than that. But it says, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. It says, in the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up calves of the stall.
So, in the midst of all that, if we're abiding under the shadow of the Most High, He will get us out of this place while this destruction is going on. And not to get too off topic, we'll be gathered and taken to the second wilderness. There will be a second wilderness. We don't hear that in church either, because that only applies to one people, the Israelites. There will be a second wilderness that will be taken back to the land. Just like Egypt, this is spiritually Egypt. Real quick. Just like it was an exodus from Egypt and we went to the wilderness, the same thing's going to happen here. All right, grab yours. What do you get?
This is Isaiah chapter 66 and 15.
Bring it out.
It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. And they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh.
Eating what?
Eating swine's flesh. And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord.
Shall be consumed by
This is how serious he is about those that are keeping his laws and those that are not. And that's the least of the kingdom. That's a least commandment. Not eating swine's flesh, right? Those are going to be consumed together.
I got what you.
Hey, it said, and the abomination too, and we just read what was an abomination to eat. Stuff in the waters that we ain't supposed to eat. So the Bible said those people are going to be killed when the Lord returns for eating those things. And another aspect of it, Salaki, another aspect of it is those same chariots that he come into to render his anger, he's going to be saving from this lake of fire.
So when they say, God ain't gonna kill me for no food,
Yes, he is. What's up, Oscar?
okay, get yours and
Get yours with Revelation? Okay. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
So this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Sodom, you know what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. Look around.
Right.
Look on TV.
And why is that so dominant? Why is that so in your face now? At one point it was in the closet. Now it's in your face.
It's an agenda. It's systemic. It wants everything that the world indulges in. It's targeted to us. Any collateral damage that comes from it is whatever. The target is us.
Yeah, he said,
Yeah, it is like whatever, because they kill their own. They don't care about their own people. To get to
Right.
us, they will destroy their own.
That's right.
I need Isaiah 3 and I.
Book of Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
The show of their countenance doeth wanted witness against them,
This talking about our people.
and they declare their sins as Sodom, they hide it not.
They declare their sin as Sodom and they hide it not. They're proud. They have Pride Month. You see, Atlanta, that's the capital. San Francisco, that's the capital of our people declaring their sin as Sodom. Go ahead.
Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves.
It says, woe unto their soul, because they have
Rewarded evil
unto
unto themselves.
So that's why it's predominant. It's a snare. It's another trap. That's for us. That's why it's in the forefront. So spiritually Sodom.
I don't know.
What you need, King?
Spiritually Sodom.
Read it again?
Yeah, read it.
Okay, so like, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
So it's Sodom for all the madness and homosexuality going on. It's Egypt because of the bondage. We're still under servitude.
and false idol worship.
Right. All of the above. Jeremiah. Let's go there.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 7.
Bring it out.
It says, therefore, behold, the days come,
Come.
saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But
It says, it will no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country.
Out of the who?
Out of the North country.
What's America? North America. See that? It says everything that we saw, like the plagues in Egypt, that won't even be spoken of again because this Exodus will be that much more spectacular. The Exodus out of the North country. Go ahead.
which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own lands.
So this is talking about the second exodus. We don't hear this in church because it applies to one people. There will be a second exodus. And he's going to gather us from here primarily and where we're scattered from the four corners of the earth.
I got another page. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and you never heard these books before either in church. But 2nd Ezra 15 and 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
As what?
As before. And will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague, and the punishment that God shall bring upon it. And the brother just read in Revelation, the last book of the Bible, the apocalypse, to come out of this place before it be destroyed. The plagues.
So we need to be concentrating on building our nation, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, and not maintaining the state of the world, because this place is circling the ground. And we want to make it out of here. There was one more point. Anybody holding something? Did you have any other questions?
Well, speaking of books, how come over years, why are they so digitally on getting rid of the books?
They burned them.
Yeah, that's exactly.
1 and 41. 1 and 20. Oh, you already got it?
No.
Yeah,
52, maybe?
I got it. So this is First Maccabees chapter 1 and 41.
Look it out.
It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed to the.
It's a lot. 57. Well, wait.
That's
56. You want 56?
I mean, all this is good.
Yeah,
Though.
all
We
of
can
it.
read it all the way down to 56 if you want. We got
Yeah.
time. All right, so it says, so all the heathen agreed to the commandment of the king. Yeah, meaning also of the Israelites consented to his religion. Right? All those people that's on this sign. It says, and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Right?
If I may. Can I jump in? So, he's reading from a book called Maccabees, right? And it's a time period where the Israelites was being persecuted by the Greeks. Have you ever heard of the Greeks? Right? And you hear about in the time of Christ, he was dealing with the Romans. We was under subjection of the Romans. Right before the Romans was the Greeks.
Yep.
And they literally was destroying our people. And he's going to read you the accounts of some of the things that they were doing. It was horrific. So these are some of the reasons. Now every major theologian, scholar, they always go to the book of Maccabees to prove certain things in history, right? It's an actual concrete and solid book, but they took it out because it identifies what happened to us in the time. Have you heard of the word Hellenistic? Like the Hellenistic period, where everybody became Greeks. You had to act like a Greek. That's why you hear Paul say like there's
no
so
difference.
Jew nor Greek. But they actually took some of the history out that deals with what happened to us during the time of the Greeks. Because our people, we always go in slavery. Egypt, Assyria, Babylon with Daniel, the Persian and Medes, the Greeks, the Romans, and guess what? The Americas. All of these are recorded. All of these are super, and there's 7 of them, major captivities that we go into. So he's going to show you how some of the things that they did during the Greek captivity to our people. And it's important to know history, because they say, if you don't know the past, you don't know the future. If you don't know what happened back then, you don't know where you're going. You got to know what happened. History is important. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
You don't know where you're going, you're doing it with people.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know your history.
Yeah.
And to touch on it, these are the same people, the Greeks and the Romans. We look at like football stadiums, those are Roman Colosseums. You got the, you go downtown, the infrastructure is the same when you go back to the Roman Empire and the Greek Empire. It's the same thing. They have what we call today a Senate. The Senate. They make all the decisions, but in the Bible, guess what it's called? The Senate. So, same thing. But it says,
Can you pull up Petra?
huh?
Petra.
Yeah.
Okay. It says 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
So they would have our people leave this given by Moses, the law, statutes, and commandments given by the Most High, go to their system. And I got a precept to back that up. This is Ezekiel 21, verse 22, verse 26. It says, her priests have violated my law and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they shewed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profane among them. That sounds just like the Christian church today. They put no difference between the clean and unclean. You can eat everything, the holy and the unholy. We're the holy people, but they say everybody is the same. Everybody is equal. But we're the holy people above all people. And they hid their eyes from the Sabbath. That's the one of the major things that they fight against is the dietary law and keeping the Sabbath. And it explains how the Christian church is tonight.
Hey, and that's why, like, you know, it's target to us, because, like, we did burnt offerings. Like, so we slaughter an animal and we take it to the priest, and they would go through the rituals. But now we can't even do that. We can't perform how the Bible instructs us, which goes back to the first 5 books. We can't do that because, first, we don't got no temple. And also because they making us follow their religion. Like, you come to the warehouse market and buy meat, which we know they meat is defiled. We just read it earlier. That's defiled meat. They slaughter these animals while they're alive and scared. We're not supposed to eat meat like that.
Right.
Strangled is strangled. We're not supposed to eat that.
Putting stress hormones in the meat, and that goes to you.
Like what chicken you know that's as big as they be saying, like, no, there's something wrong with this. This is steroids in these chickens. Right? So it says, verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. When we look at our people have forgotten the laws of God, simply. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. It says, in the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over the people, over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then men, and the overseers today are police officers.
Yeah.
Those are really overseers. They drive by to make sure we're not doing certain things according to their system. Because their system is already set up against us to make sure we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Right? But it says, then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even whosoever they could flee for succor. Right? And you say the point was what?
We're going to go down to 56, 57. We can probably, what's the last verse on that chapter?
The last verse is 64.
Okay, there's some crazy stuff in there I want the sister to see.
All right, so I'll just keep going.
Okay.
Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in 140 year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the city of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law,
They did what?
They had rent in pieces
The
books of the law, which they found,
So-
they burned them with fire.
So they literally took our books, the scrolls that we have from our prophets, the instructions on how we serve God. They ripped them up. It was imperative that we did not serve God, that we served their God. They want us to serve Zeus. That was a major thing during the time of the Greeks. right? That's why we have certain street. If you go down to Tulsa Hills, they got a street called Olympus. You know what I'm saying? Olympus, that go back to another god. Zeus, they go back to all of them.
Days of the week.
Right? The days of the week. Saturday, Saturn's day.
Odin's Day.
Oh,
Odin's Day.
right, we got all it. Even our January, Janus, I believe.
Yep.
All of these go back to, this is their whole society, their whole country. This kingdom is built off of the foundation of the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians, and it all goes back to paganism, other gods, and we get engulfed in them things when we don't have knowledge. But we don't have to be that smart. If you listen, I ask all the brothers this: would you rather have a smart son who's too smart for his own good and he don't listen, or would you rather have a bag of rocks son, but he take commands really good? He tries. I'm taking the bag of rocks all day. I just listen. You ain't gotta be smart. Just, and I can see the Most High looking at us like that. If you don't understand how all of this happened, you don't understand history, you don't know prophecies, you can't really go into the Bible and just understand those deep things. It's okay. Just listen. Keep the commandments. Because you know more than you even think you know by just obeying God. See, a lot of people got all of this understanding and knowledge, and they got doctorates, degrees, they went to college, you know, all of these things, but they forgot the main thing. You got all of these certificates, but you don't know how to listen. It's good for nothing. It's good for nothing, you know. But it's still some more in Maccabees. They did horrific things. But going back to your point, one of the reasons why I think that they want to, the Bible is the best-selling book on earth. You can look it up. #1 book.
That's right.
Most popular book on earth. Ever. And it's a reason for that. But to go back to your point, you asked, why are they doing everything so digital, and they taking away physical copies? I think that it's going to be a time where they take those kind of privileges from us when we don't have technology. If you don't get down with their system, if you jump back to verse 41 real quick.
Verse 41, it said, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom.
So Antiochus is a Greek. He's a king.
Yep.
He wrote to everyone that he had power over. And what did he say, King?
That all should be one people.
All should what?
Be one people.
Now, that's what the same thing America does. They try and teach that everyone's one. And we all should be one people. Now, we all heard that we're in the last days. Right? We really are. And there's going to come a time where they say, look, if you don't get down with what we put down, you can't, we making a one world government. You're not going to be able to go in there and swipe your card and get the groceries. You're going to have to serve the guys that they set up. You're going to have to fall in line. And if you're trying to serve God, so they're going to destroy all of these copies that we got. They're going to shut down these different streets. They definitely coming out north soon. Martial law. They're going to come through the block with tanks. They're going to block off streets. You're not going to be able to go to the warehouse market. You're not going to be able to go to Reese's, Save a Lot. You're not going to be able to make it to Walmart. Them trucks going to stop coming. The only way you're going to eat is if you go through them.
Save he that had a chip.
Save he that had a chip. Mark of the beast.
But,
you know, so they doing these things systematic. And you're not going to have this thing. Everybody got a Bible right now. You can go get a Bible anywhere from any. Bibles is everywhere. But these things, if you want to hide anything, hide it in a book. There's going to be a time where they take these books from us and they destroy them. You're not going to have these sources no more. They trying to make it to where you can get all of these PDFs, do everything online, and there's a reason for that. It's nothing like putting pen to paper. It's nothing like that. And you know that. I know you know that. They do these things on purpose, so you're not going to be able to have these things when you really need them. You know.
GPS.
Yeah, GPS. Brothers don't even know how to get around Tulsa.
Hey, let's say a man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able because your GPS went out.
Brothers don't even know how to get around the town. Which way is north?
they always resort. I ain't from here.
Yeah. Okay, Ecclesiastes.
That's out in the wilderness.
Alright, so the accounts he read in Maccabees, I want to get to real quick before you continue, because he said they would burn the books, they rent and burnt the books.
Right.
And we can look at these accounts in history and understand that they're going to come back, that the Most High required them to come back.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9.
Bring it out.
The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
No new thing under the sun. Everything we see in antiquity is coming back.
Got it. So it says, Maccabees 1 and 56 again. And when they had written in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's command was that they should be put to death.
Hold on. This is literally gonna happen. Right now, you can be whoever you want to be, literally. You can come as you are, you can serve God, you can be in a satanic cult, you can walk around topless. You can do whatever you want in Tulsa. In Oklahoma, you can be whatever. But it's gonna come to another point in time in history where if you're trying to serve God, if you're trying to obey God, you're gonna get your head knocked off. Guillotines. I mean, your head gonna be rolling on the ground. If you consent to the law, you're gonna get your head knocked off. They gonna ask you, so who are you? And if you say that you're an Israelite, you're dead. If you say that you're a God-fearing woman, you can get snatched up. They're gonna take your babies away from you. And we're gonna keep reading because that's exactly what they did. You had your baby serving God, we're gonna keep reading, dude.
It says, verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities.
Hey, if they were found in the city, the Israelites, because we Israelites, right?
That's right.
God. We God's chosen people. But they're gonna have overseers running down the blocks, checking up on certain hot spots. If you caught in this city serving God, it's gonna be a problem. They don't want you to serve God. They want you to do everything else. This is going to happen. This is prophetic. That's why we take this so serious. That's why we come out here. Because we see that this is for real. This happened to our people. We take it serious. This is not just no fairy tale book. A lot of people, this is just a religious book and it just make you feel good. Prosperity, good feelings, and I love Jesus. No, this is our history book. That's right. This literally happened to our forefathers. Certain things, they broke these things down to warn us of what's going to happen again. Right? Let's keep reading.
God, it says, now the 5 and 20th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the altar, the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God.
Right. So they actually set up an idol on the altar of God. That's super bold. That's super crazy. If we had all day to read Maccabees, we're gonna show you what happened to them people who did that. Right? It was crazy.
Right. It says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women.
They did what?
They put to death certain women.
So they start killing our women.
That had caused their children to be circumcised.
To be what?
Circumcised.
So circumcised, you know about Abraham, right? He was called the friend of God. Faithful Abraham. Like that's our forefather, like directly ours. Faithful, he's the friend. How do you befriend the master of the universe? Abraham did it. Our forefather did that. So one of the things that he gave to Abraham was circumcision. It was a token of the promise that he made with Abraham. Now look, you'll see Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they're going to inherit these promises. But I'm going to make you do circumcision. That's going to be my sign between me and y'all. So our women, our men, we took circumcision serious. We take that serious. Abraham is like the guy. He's the guy, right? He's super important. So circumcision was nothing to be played with. You got to be circumcised when? The 8th day. The 8th day. It's in the law. It's practice. You got to do this or you're going to get cut off from your people. That's how serious it was. But our women, they was rocking hard for the Most High God. Like, they were being threatened with death and they chose to serve God. You put these women in that kind of God.
Story where
Jeremiah 44.
Oh, no,
Seven.
It We got some
There's
mighty
plenty-
foremothers.
there's plenty of
Mighty foremothers. Mothers who really stood on something. A lot of the women that we gotta deal with in today's era, they're nuts. They're nuts. It's better for you not to even take one sometimes, because they're nuts. They don't even want to love you no more. They want to be the man. They want you to sit down. Get in here. It's getting crazy.
But we went over it earlier why it's like that.
Yeah, it's systematic.
Yeah,
it's
it's
on purpose,
systematic.
and everything is trying to get us out of order. So it's harder for us to serve the Most High God. You know, while they women and they promote our women to being Cardi B's, Beyonce's, and all the single ladies, all of that stuff. But the whole time, Beyonce got a husband. You see what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, they all do. But that's how we know it's systematic and it's programmed, and they're targeting our people. They do not want us to have strong households. If you got strong men build strong families. Strong families build a strong nation.
Just like what you say, Young Jeezy said, he told our sons, trap or die, nigga. But he told his sons to college.
His son graduated
Yeah.
college.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they do that on purpose. And what we call that is a sellout.
Yeah.
You literally destroying your people for a check. That's a sellout. You can make it look like this, but when we take all of this stuff out there and we look at what's going on, they copped out, they cooned out, and they sold out. It's a little bit more on the Maccabees though. So we have some mothers who were circumcising their children, serving the Most High God.
Yeah. It says, it's gonna get crazy. Verse 61. I'm gonna start at 60 again. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks.
They did what?
They hanged the infants about their necks. They said infants. They hanged them by their necks.
We're talking about defenseless. I mean, children, not even children, infants,
Yeah,
babies.
infants.
I mean, they didn't do no good or evil. They couldn't defend themselves. And we see that they doing this. They not doing it. Don't get me wrong. They are hanging people still, but they doing it systematically where it's not even. People don't even see how they doing the same thing. It's the same spirit.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood. You can go to the abortion clinic. They just now tried. You can still go to different states and do it though. But for years, you could go to these abortion clinics and wipe your hands with it.
What did they used to call it? The Negro Plan or something like that? Planned Parenthood. But I saw a poster. It had a so-called black child, woman and child on there, and it said the best thing you can do for your child is to not have another.
That's crazy.
That was an advertisement.
That's crazy.
Planned Parenthood.
See, that's
They
some
wanna
crazy
keep-
stuff right there.
It tell you in Hosea chapter 1 verse 10. It says the number of the children of Israel is like the sand of the sea. The Israelite, we multiply. That's what we do. We increase. We can't not have an Israelite community anywhere. We gonna grow and we gonna expand. That was one of the promises he made to Abraham, that our children was gonna be like the sand of the sea. They know that. That's why they got these clinics in our neighborhoods. You don't find them in their neighborhoods. They in our neighborhoods because they want to kill us. I mean, it's not no. You don't need a scientist to know that.
That goes back to the crafty council.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah,
Salt
they
Lake
against
City.
us. They definitely against us.
It's all about the Most High.
Yeah. That's why we want to get out of this place, and that's why we serve the Most High God as fervent as we do, as zealous as we do. It's all of these brothers have a good spirit, a good heart, and they want to. Our deepest desire is to serve the Most High God. Through all the bumps and the roads and the hurdles, the brick walls, these brothers, I talk to these brothers every day. They for real want to serve the Most High God. They putting their families in orders, children in order. That's what we was created to do. Can I get one scripture out? Yeah. Malachi, can you read it for me? I like how you read it. Ecclesiastes 12:13. We done went over so much information with you. That's crazy.
Glad you stayed. Glad you came over.
Uh-huh.
Most I might give up fishing tonight.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 to verse 13.
Bring it out.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So the big picture. All of this information that we went through, we went to prophecies, we went to laws, we went to letters, we went everywhere. We went into history, we went into everything. We went to prophecy, what's gonna happen in the future. But this is the conclusion of the whole matter, the big picture. Come on.
Fear God.
Do what?
Fear God.
Do what?
Fear God.
Come on.
And keep His commandments.
And do what?
And keep His commandments.
Come on.
For this is the whole duty of man.
It says this the whole duty. This the whole job. It's just to obey God. Then you're gonna have prosperity and good success. Then you're gonna really figure out what this life is about. So we see miracles all day. I mean, the Most High made a whole earth and put us here. He gave it to the Israelites. That wasn't for everybody. He gave it to us. It's all supposed to be for us. But that's why we go through these trials and these tribulations, so we can actually be worthy to actually govern this whole place. So we building ourselves up, man. I mean, each one teach one. I'm glad you came over here, for real.
Let's get some comfort.
Comfort. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. You want me to grab it?
So with all that being said, like with all the accounts and these things that are going to come on the earth, and you know, the nations going against God's people. With all that being said,
And this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7.
No.
It says, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, ask ye now. It says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. So it's what is it called? A hypothetical question. Do men have kids? Of course not. But it says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So you're gonna have men looking like women, like they giving birth. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
so all these things, these perilous times that are going to come upon us, at the end of the day, we are going to be saved out of it if we abide under the shadow.
That's right.
Matter of fact, let's get Psalm 91.
Yes, sir.
Because as much woe and destruction and judgment that we hear in the scriptures, there's just as much comfort within the scriptures if we apply what we're supposed to apply.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1.
Bring it out.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So how would you say we would abide under the shadow of the Most High? There you go.
And with that, you want me to keep reading?
Okay.
Verse 2, it says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
The truth is our shield and buckler. The truth. Let's see what the truth is. Get Psalms 119 and 142. Somebody.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142.
Bring it out.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Thy law is the truth. That law, you can't get around that law. It keep popping up. All right, we can go back.
Psalms 91 and verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone.
You heard that? So he says, as long as you abide under his shadow, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the faith of Yahushua, you ain't even got to worry about dashing your foot against the stone. You know when you dash your foot against the side of the bed, that you ain't even got to worry about that. As long as we apply what was given to us. Is that it?
No, it's a few more.
Verse 13. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
That's
Yeah, so these things give us comfort and faith that these things will come to pass. We'll be protected. That's the faith. That's the faith part of it. We believe we'll be protected if we apply what was given to us.
That's right.
Well, did you have any other questions?
No, I gotta get back to work.
All praises. Glad you stopped by. If you have any further questions, we got an email on there. Check out the videos.
You gotta go live on Facebook or YouTube.
We do go live on Facebook. Sons of Jacob Tulsa is on there. We usually go live Friday mornings.
Saturday mornings we
Saturday
usually,
mornings.
and Wednesdays we go live too.
on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we always go live on the YouTube channel.
Iron Council.
Yeah. Then we got Sons of Jacob Gatekeepers. That's another channel. We got Iron Council. We got the podcast. We go on there. Plug that.
Yeah, I know.
But all praises. We was just talking about everybody turns away the shoulder. It's the best information people will receive, and they just refuse it.
That's
Right.
right.
And you stop. All praises.
Now you got some good eating today.
I just had 2 chicken strips.
No, spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah, I did get some good eating today.
Matter of fact, go back to the first precept. Get Isaiah 55:1. Let's get that.
Start it off with that.
All praises.
Yeah. Sons of Jacob Tulsa.
Everything is Sons of Jacob. Yeah, but you want to show what you mean, what we mean by spiritual food.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 1.
Bring it up.
It says, "Lo, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price." It say, "Wherefore will ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness."
It says, let your soul delight itself in that. So this is the best meal that is available, and it's for free, and people refuse it. It says, why do you spend money on that which doesn't satisfy? celebrities, rich people, they're not satisfied in life because they don't feed their spirit. So you have nothing if you do not feed your spirit. That's what we have.
It might be SOJ Tulsa. It might be SOJ Tulsa.
How you liking it without your trap on? Survive.
It's not as bad as you think.
Right. Yes, man. Nice talking to you.
Hey, you made our day.
I hope
Ah.
we see you again.
If not in person, in digital.
Yeah.
All work.
Thank you.
All right, and with that,
Hallelujah!
hallelujah.
I had a scripture.
Huh?
I had a scripture.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:65. It's somebody. Oh, 28:65. It's like if I said 26, 28:65.
Alright, cool. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
It says, yeah. So it says, there's two parts of that. It says, you will find no ease, and the sole of thy foot will have no rest. Bro, black men can't get a break. Bro, we have brothers in the camp that work 16-hour days, 12-hour days, 8-hour days. Who? What Moabite's working 16 hours? And then that's what I was saying. Like, the black man, he gets no rest no matter what. He goes home. He has to deal with issues. If he has work, he has to go deal with issues everywhere. You have to do that. So
This is not your rest.
stay rest.
Any other points up? All right, with that, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. Shalom, Baruch.
Shalom.